So I wanted to talk about how modern systems optimize for accessibility, speed, and engagement, all at the expense of depth, effort, and long-term meaning. When you repeatedly choose what is quick and frictionless, you trade away growth, skill, and fulfillment. We can first start off with the initial trade-off, convenience versus quality. Short form content and fast food operate on the same principles: minimal effort, immediate reward, high stimulation, low long term value. Cooking a meal requires planning, skill, time, and attention. It's able to build competence, health, and discipline, while scrolling requires no effort, no commitment, no friction. It trains passivity, fragments attention, and creates dependency on stimulation. The pattern is identical. You sacrifice depth for speed. It leads to the dopamine loop. Short form platforms are engineered to keep you engaged, not informed, not fulfilled, engaged. Endless novelty, emotional spikes, personalization, variable reward. This ends up creating a feedback loop. It turns from I'll just check for a few minutes to an hour has already passed and you're still scrolling. You're not experiencing life. You are consuming representations of it. Watching someone hike is not hiking. Watching someone live is not living. Effort is removed, but the reward remains. That imbalance rewires expectations. How does this affect culture? When this logic spreads across society, movies are made to be background noise. Art is optimized for retention metrics. Quality becomes secondary to engagement. Even taste gets confused. The point is not to only consume high IMDb ratings. The point is give your attention to what elevates you. Great art, great food, meaningful effort. This demands presence. Passive consumption does not. The excuse problem. I hear all the time the common defenses of, it's just how I like to relax. I just don't have time. I want to spend my day off relaxing. This logic assumes your default state should be numbness. Your downtime should not be mental decay. If your brain only ignites through artificial stimulation, something is fundamentally wrong upstream. Now, here, let's take some responsibility. You can blame capitalism, algorithms, and cultural decay, but once you see the mechanism, you are accountable. There is a moral weight to awareness. If you know something degrades you and you continue, you live with that contradiction. The internal dissonance is the punishment. Here's the bigger point. This is not about taste. This is about standards. The principle. Give your attention to what strengthens you and avoid what weakens you through ease. You are constantly trading your attention, time, and cognitive energy. Most people end up trading it for convenience. Now, I just want you to live with these words. Maybe it can help you make better choices for your own life. And I'm hoping to obviously learn by these as well and live by these. That effort builds capacity. Friction builds skill. Depth builds meaning. Convenience erodes all three. The question is not whether the system is flawed, it is whether you will participate in it passively or consciously. That is the real choice. And honestly, I felt like this was something that really needed to be said, either for myself or the people around me that I see, but especially in these changing times where a lot of crazy things happen a number of times throughout our lifetime. But specifically, I feel like it is important to just point out that some people may be living their days more on a screen than off of a screen. And I'm convinced that all of this hoopla and all of these things that we find occurring in present day time is kind of happening hand in hand with the technological advances that we experience. So I just mean this all by a way to encourage people that yes, there are flawed things in kind of everyday advances of technology or whatever you hear on the news, but the the actual quest is to kind of fight that battle consciously and make better decisions with yourself so that you could come out better. And I really do hope it motivates some people.